Put a piece of tape on the door by the hinge and one inside the cabinet box and number. Remove the door from hinge by removing screws. Then remove hinge from cabinet box. Put hinges and screw in the cabinet box or a parts bucket. Pay attention, the long screw goes back into the face frame and the short screw goes back into the door. Put the number inside the hinge hole after the hinge has been removed. Use your piece of tape to cover your number so you don't get overspray over it. Number and remove all drawers and finish removing all the pieces in your kitchen. Remember to stay organized and take notes if needed. Remove cabinet handles with the Phillips head screwdriver. And after you remove handle, thread screws right back into the handle. Next, we'll use a putty knife to remove the old bumpers. Cabinets will need to be cleaned and degreased. We use a product called Crud Cutter. It's biodegradable and readily available. Pay attention to the edges. Use a greenie or a scrub pad if needed. After we clean, we use 220 grit sandpaper. It's important to clean before you sand so that you don't smear the grease around the cabinet with your sandpaper. When sanding, you want to make sure and hit every flat and every edge. This is important for maximum adhesion when priming. It's okay to use sandpaper, a sanding block, or even a sanding machine. Make sure and hit all four edges and backside of cabinet. Folks, this is the most important step. If you don't have good adhesion, this will lead to paint failure down the road. After sanded, tack off door with a rag. Repeat the same process with the face frames. And again, make sure to hit every edge and every angle and every flat of your face frames. Masking is the next step and is by far the most time consuming. Start by applying tape to the inside of the cabinet box, sticky side facing out. Make sure your tape is straight and stuck very well, especially in the corners. Use 12-inch paper to cover the middle and seam up all edges so the box is nice and tight. Finish masking out all the interiors. Before masking off the walls, we want to caulk the face frames to the drywall. We like to use a quick dry caulking so that we can get right on masking. Next step is to cover the floors with floor paper. We'll cover the perimeter with blue tape and put thin floor paper over the top of it. You may need to put ramboard or masonite down not to scratch the floor. Next, locate the water shutoff valve behind the fridge and remove the water line with the crescent wrench. Lastly, you'll need to make sure all the appliances are covered, all the walls are covered, and there's plastic tent around the whole area before spraying primer. This will ensure that you don't get overspray in your customer's home. Thank you for watching my step-by-step guide how to properly prep a kitchen before paint. Please subscribe.